Hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. It is Tuesday, the 20th of May. It's May, right? May. 20th of May. And of course, Arsenal are in the cards on our stream. Of course, there are some new links with potentially Eze. There are some talks about, of course, forwards. We're gonna talk about forwards in general. Let's be real, because this Gyokeres, Sesko, and everything, it's all over the place. I'm not gonna lie, because no concrete evidence, no concrete nothing, just rumors, just talks, everything, but no concrete action. As we all know, actions speak louder than words, and so far, from media, we have heard only words. And let's be real as well, from reports on the media, that we have also only heard words. We haven't heard anything concrete, no actions whatsoever. So today we're gonna talk about all that. We're gonna talk about what potentially Arsenal will be doing during the summer, what they should be doing this summer, at least in my opinion, in your opinion. So definitely stay tuned and get involved into everything. Of course, smash the like button if you haven't already. Helps a lot, helps the stream, helps the algorithm, spreads the word around, and more people come join our conversation. Subscribe if you're new around here, of course. Road to 1K is going strong. And on top of all of that, leave your comments down in the live chat, because that is something we definitely need to tackle, because everyone has their own opinions. Who should Arsenal sign? What should Arsenal sign? And of course, why? So first things first, big up Kwame. Kwame he just showed up. Arteta should stay. Big up Kwame. Arteta should stay out of Berta's way. Sorry, totally wrong pronunciation. Wrong comma, one place, and it is going all over the place. And Arteta should stay out of Berta's way, 100%. Because let's be real, as we've been talking about this recently on streams, there is a bit of a friction, I guess, between Andrea Berta and Mikel Arteta, because it hasn't been reported that they are working well to well. Obviously, on the face value, they're saying they are on the same page, on the same driveway, in the same car, they're driving in the same direction, right? At the same time, there are some rumors about some arguments in the hierarchy that Andrea Berta Arteta is rubbing Berta the wrong way, pause, and everything. There are disagreements, but it pretty much comes to an end with the conclusion that Andrea Berta is on top. Because for Andrea Berta to sign, I don't think that one of the best in the business, arguably, would not sign for Arsenal in general if there were not some guarantees that Mikel Arteta will stay out of his way. Because ultimately, we all know that Mikel Arteta used to have the final say when Edu was here, whether he gets the player or not. Last summer also was the case, because obviously we read the reports, we read the talks. Obviously, believe them or not depends to be seen. But based on what happened at Arsenal, that Edu left and everything, there definitely was some friction, because before we signed Calafiori and before we signed Merino, there were talks and reports coming out of numerous news reports and journalists that there is some friction in the hierarchy. They're arguing that they think that Calafiori's injury record is not the best, so we shouldn't sign him, and Merino isn't the right player for this time of situation. But ultimately, Mikel Arteta said, I want them. He put his foot down and he got them. But right now with Andrea Berta, Mikel Arteta doesn't have a free will. Genuinely doesn't have a free will, and that kind of feels that it's rubbing Mikel Arteta also the wrong way. Ultimately, if you cannot handle the heat, obviously, the way I see it, get out of the kitchen. Obviously, resign or something like that. But ultimately, the way I see this is that the fact that with 15 million a year, whilst Edu was here, Arteta had some guarantees. Arteta has said himself in interviews that he gets the final say on who he signs and who Arsenal sign. But now with Berta coming in, I think those fingers that are in the I sign whoever I want cookie jar, obviously, have been cut off, because Kroenke obviously have seen how the money has been spent, how it has been wasted. Also, Tim Lewis has done it. He's been working for Kroenke since 2009. It's not a coincidence that all of a sudden he comes in, and there have been some shady reports, let's just put it that way, in terms of how Arsenal have spent the money. And I think Berta now is in to put the end of the wasting money situation. Berta knows Arteta can't deliver, simple as that, exactly. And it looks like Kroenke is now as well, because Tim Lewis comes in, then Andrea Berta comes in, would stand to a point that also a proper manager at some point would come in. That would be the hope. I'm not surprised Berta doesn't trust Arteta. I'm not as well. Especially if you read the interviews, Mikel Arteta doesn't mention Andrea Berta unless he gets asked a direct question about Andrea Berta. If it's a question about contracts, go ask Berta. I don't know nothing about it, pretty much. But whilst Edu was here, it was like, at the end of the season, we're gonna sit down with Edu and the player and we're gonna discuss everything. It's not happening anymore like that. So there is some power shift, I would assume, on the top. And obviously Mikel Arteta is not happy about it. And in interviews as well, in reports, when Josh Kroenke does an interview, when you didn't hear him, when Berta signed, he didn't mention Arteta pretty much once, maybe once at best. Andrea Berta didn't mention Mikel Arteta also once. And when Berta joined, there was no picture with him and Berta. With Edu, they were lovey-dovey and all this stuff. And all this, ooh, cook me some barbecue, baby, and all these things, you know. But with Berta, there's none of that. So that is definitely something going on there. The Kroenkes are poisoning Arsenal. Yeah, they are. At the same time, I'm not gonna lie. I don't wanna be the devil's advocate to defend them or anything, but there is potentially some hope, maybe, because signing Berta is the step in the right direction. Next right thing would sack Mikel Arteta, obviously, but if they have to pay him off with 30 million, it's not the best thing to do for business, since they are the businessman. But even if you are not a footballing person, at least sign proper football people in charge so they can run your business, so they know what they're doing. And it looks like with Berta coming in, it looks like we're moving in that direction. And how it happens in USA, they usually sign one of the best GMs, general managers, or in our terms, sporting director in charge. Then he gathers information, and if he doesn't like what he sees, he reports it, and they sack and fire the main manager, the main coach. So it might be happening to that as well. Obviously, I'm not saying Kroenkes are the best thing since sliced bread, but hopefully there might be some shift in the tides. That's what I'm all saying, because I can scream every single stream Arteta out, right? Like very bluntly. But let's be real, he's not going anywhere, at least for now. I can scream Kroenkes out, but Kroenkes, they're not gonna sell it. We can say it, we can do it, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Let's be real. Arteta out. No more Arteta. No, exactly. Kroenkes out. To be honest, I would agree 100%, but who would buy Arsenal? Like, if you think about it, at certain stages of Arsenal, even in recent years, there have been selected people who were mentioned in the same cusp as signing Arsenal, as buying Arsenal, right? Like Daniel Ek together with Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira, Dennis Bergkamp, the legends and everything. But they offered pretty much the same amount what Arsenal was worth at the time, 3 billion, 2.5, 3 billion. And let's be real, for Kroenke to even consider selling Arsenal, it would genuinely go up to like 8, 9 billion. Arsenal, I don't know how much they're worth, but in Kroenke's eyes, they are worth about 5, 6 at least. And if they want to sell and taxes and everything, they will have to basically pay even over off top. So I would assume it will take insanely substantial amount of money. And then again is the big question, who is going to buy them? Who is going to buy us? Because even if somebody would buy us, right? I don't want another Kroenke situation. I don't want owners that are even worse than Kroenke's, because let's be real, you could get into that situation. Unless it's like a proper footballing ownership, right? Like, obviously, Abramovich used to have Chelsea. Let's not go there. Mansour for Man City or PSG owners or stuff like that, right? It's very slim pickings, isn't it? So I don't want also that to happen to Arsenal, because it genuinely could happen in a flash that we get run into the ground. 3 times runner-up in the Premier League title race is utter disgrace. Dude, this year it wasn't even a title race. Closest we've been to Liverpool is 4 points. United have been on top of the table. Brighton have been on top of the table. And within the striking distance of Liverpool at certain stages of the season. Arsenal have never. Never ever. That is one of the worst things. Absolute disgrace, Kwame. No other club in Premier League goes through this crap. Exactly. Which manager of the Big Six, which club of the Big Six? I released a YouTube short about this. If you haven't, go check it out. I also uploaded today a YouTube short about Max Daumann, and that I'm worried that he could get Ranieri treatment. Right? Go check it out if you haven't already. Leave a like, leave a comment, all that good stuff, of course. But, yeah, that's the biggest thing. No Big Six team would handle this. Keep this. Liverpool wouldn't even entertain the idea of signing Arteta. Man City don't want him, let's be real. I've spoken to countless Man City fans. None of them would take Mikel Arteta. Spurs, if they had Arteta, maximum 2 seasons at best. United, at best 2 seasons as well, because they wouldn't suffer finishing 8th 2 times. And well, Chelsea, they sack managers as they change socks, so that also wouldn't work. So ultimately, nobody would keep him, let's be real. And even if you look a bit lower, managers of other teams, Newcastle, he's better than Mikel Arteta, Eddie Howe. You could argue Espirito Santo is better than Mikel Arteta. Espirito Santo might get fired by Marianakis, by the way, I read today. Due to the clash, there is some friction there happening. And already Marianakis is linked with a job at AS Roma because Ranieri is retiring at the end of the season. Or even Saudi jobs. So it's actually kind of insane if you come to think of it. Yeah, Arteta and Kroenke must go, but yeah. Big up Chucks. Big up, hope you're doing well today. Bring Eze home. Haaland United. Exactly. And as we speak with this, I can actually open this up. I'm not gonna lie, I can do this as well. Eberechi Eze. Eberechi Eze. Second place, Netflix FC, Trying FC. We are the meme and joke for everyone to laugh at. Basically, let's be real. So many good better than the Kroenkes, whether they're Japanese, Chinese, or Arab. Exactly, that is the big case. At the same time, I don't want also corporate ownership. I would love to have someone who owns Arsenal who also is a football fan. You know, like Marianakis, for example, he has Olympiacos, he has Nottingham Forest, he has Vasco da Gama. No, not Vasco da. I think Académica or Morienses or something like that. Victoria Guimarães, I think, in Portugal, and he's looking at Vasco da Gama or someone else in Brazil at the moment, right? I want a footballing man in charge who understands the fans, who understands the culture, who understands the sport in general. Because if we get another corporate ownership, right, it will be the same again, if not worse. Because if we get Todd Bowley type of ownership, oh bloody hell. If we get FSG, oh no. If we get Glazers, oh God save us all. If we get Ineos with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, oh bloody hell. Like, it's not also looking that bright, let's be real. I totally agree with Chuck, says they must return. Exactly. One of the latest news, Arsenal are weighing up a bold move. It's not bold, is it? It's very predictable if we actually go for him. But I would love to have Eze at Arsenal, I'm not gonna lie. Trigger the 70 million release clauses. And apparently these release clauses can be paid in installments. Can be paid in installments. So that actually could work in favor of Arsenal, because 70 million seems a lot if you spread it over 3 years, for example. 20 million, 22, 23 million a year doesn't seem too bad actually on checkbooks, PSR and FFP and all this stuff. Eze left wing, and Ranieri Cam, Doman right wing, Cherky. Where's Saka? You mean backups? Saka right wing, Gyokeres forward, and Eze left wing. I could see that. The only thing about Eze for me is he can play left wing, right? But I kind of think that Eze is more dangerous through the middle. Like, you get what I mean, through the middle, more central areas, which is actually a bit iffy. However, if you basically set him up on kind of cutting inside free roam type of role, which Arteta obviously would never do, but I think that would work perfectly with Eze, he actually would be very, very dangerous. Big up YouTube Sensors, hope you're doing well. Apparently Man United are the first club to officially put money on the table to buy Gyokeres. Yes, we're gonna talk about that in a second, and that is also looks like it could be true. Big up Nabongo, big up Kwame, the president of Rwanda, can buy Kagame, the president of Rwanda. Dude, the things that are surrounding Rwanda and everything, it's actually nuts. Sucks starting. Inside forward role, I kind of can see that. Left forward type of situation. Like left wing drifts inside into left 10, into left forward. Like false 9 type of role, maybe. Yeah, exactly. We could do inside forwards. We can do overlaps from wing backs. Then if they want, they can stay wide and all this stuff. It actually could work like a charm, but obviously Mikel Arteta he doesn't see it football being played that way. However, if we get a proper manager, maybe it could work. Sorry. But yeah, Eberechi Eze, I would definitely take at Arsenal. 100%. Make them more goals, more shots in the box. Exactly, and even outside the box, because it would be very crowded in that regard. There would be the open spaces. attacking defensive wing back like Lever something, but we maybe then should switch to like 3 at the back or something like that. And then again, the situation of Inzaghi comes in. Would love to have that. And PSG is doing it. Yeah, they have 2 prime, pacey, decent wing backs who can actually attack, who can shoot, who can score, and also can defend to a certain 11, one more than the other, but they're still doing a great job. So it's working like a charm in that regard. But yeah, Eberechi Eze at Arsenal I think would fit very, very well. He can set himself, one of his biggest dreams is playing for Arsenal in the future, because that's his club, let's be real, so would make a lot of sense for Arsenal to sign him. But however, what I say about Arsenal usually, if it makes sense, Arsenal won't do it. So make that as you will. Raya goalkeeper, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Skelly, Rice, Zubimendi, and Odegaard left mid? I assume left center mid. That Odegaard thing is not still... I'm kind of uneasy about Odegaard. Kind of don't want Odegaard here, to be honest, until he proves me wrong on consistent basis. Because it's like, feels like some of our team players are one-hit wonders, like one season wonders, because Martinelli has been like that, Odegaard has been that, and since that 22-23 season he has very steadily declined, and this season it's been worse than ever. Oh, but he was injured, yeah, for 2 months. He missed 2 months of game time, that's it. So it's also not that. I don't blame you, Robo, your doubts about... Yeah, that is the biggest thing, because he comes back and he still does nothing, let's be real. When Yuri plays as a 10 on occasion, even as a sub, Zinchenko plays as a 10 and still does more job there in those 2 games than Odegaard does for like 3-4 months. Like, it's not adding up, let's just put it that way. Hakimi 20 plus GA at right back, that is genuinely Dani Alves type of level wing back situation. Remember Dani Alves at Barcelona and PSG? Just wow. Raya, Hatzo, Saliba, Big Gabby, Timber, Zubimendi, Rice, Manieri, Saka, Eze, Rodrigo, Gittins, Gyokeres, and Nush. We have options, yeah. Big up Gatti, big up. Evening mate, I'm watching you from Poland. Big up Poland, big up Warsaw, big up Bobre, and all this stuff. Big up. I'm 1/16th part Polish as well, by the way. Just putting it out there, random fact about me. Prime Dani Alves, all Barca fullbacks. Current ones, definitely. Anyways, Yuri and Timber. Remember yesterday we talked about Timber needing a surgery, right? Remember those situations. He needs a surgery. Hey, who would have guessed? Big up Natalie. Big up, hope you're doing well. Of course, Robert Lewandowski, Jakub Piszczek, Blaszczykowski, on all these guys. I know them well. Zielinski, Shizmanek, Kaminski, Piontek, and all these guys. I know them. But yeah, Timber is understood to have been playing through pain, the barrier pain, basically in the red zone, as Wenger would have described, for the past few months. And he was still pocketing players like no tomorrow. He was still pocketing players. He pocketed Vini. He pocketed, cannot say Kvaratskhelia for the whole full 180 minutes. He pocketed him for about 150, 140 minutes, something like that. Overall, besides that, yeah, but still, he was doing better injured than some of our players in general who are fully fit. But yeah, it's too early to put definitive timeline on his return. But there is hope he will be ready for preseason. So basically preseason begins in a month and a half. Almost, a bit less, right? So basically if he has the surgery, it means it will be a month recovery. Not gonna lie, it's not looking great already. I still haven't heard anything about Saliba, because Mikel Arteta kind of confirmed that he had a hamstring or something. They're doing scans this week. When? Nobody knows. When it's gonna be announced what has happened to him, also nobody knows. So, and severity of that injury or that knock, whatever it will be, nobody knows. So that is also a big question mark. What's gonna happen with that? Let's be real. So time only will tell, but Timber is gonna need another surgery. I actually don't know whether it's also the same leg or not. Is it the same knee, the same leg, or it's the other leg? That is also a big, massive question in my opinion. Timber will come back strong, hopefully. Havertz, Martinelli, Kivior, and Zinchenko must all go. Arteta treated Kieran Tierney disgracefully. To be honest, Fabio Vieira must go and all these guys. But who else? Reece Nelson, Sambi Lokonga. If there was an opportunity, sell Tomiyasu and Jesus as well. But again, this is the biggest issue. Think about it, Kwame. Have you ever seen Arsenal sign about 7 players in one window? Because we need about 5 signings in general, right? And we need to sell about 7, 8 players. Which means we need to sign about 3, 4 more. So we need to sign about 9, 10 players and sell about 6 to keep the depth of the team and improve the quality. And I don't see that Arsenal doing whatsoever. Nelly ain't going nowhere. I think so. However, obviously there are lots of mumblings coming from some sources surrounding Arsenal that if Arsenal want to sign more than one big player, there might need to be a necessity of a casualty. And obviously the 3 top prospects for that is Saliba because of Real Madrid, Gabriel because of Saudi, and Martinelli because in Arteta's eyes at least, he is the most expendable one of the big, so-called big players we have. So that is also a big question. That is also the case. He got more goals than Nico Williams. I'm very lucky that Nico Williams's talks have quieted down. But I still would take Rodrigo over Martinelli any day of the week. Because Rodrigo's best performances at Real Madrid, by the way, have also come when he's been playing left wing. And Rodrigo, by default, is a left winger. The issue with Real Madrid is they have Vinny there, so they need to put Rodrigo somewhere, so he was at right wing. And in my opinion, they actually play their whole front line are left wingers. Vinny, Mbappe, in my opinion, is more effective from the left driving in. And also, Rodrigo is a left winger. Hope not long out Timber, I hope so as well. Yeah, right, as well. Jurien Timber is so sad he's injured. Exactly. Now that Prime turning out Cruz 3 top passes all time. Arguably. Robo, do you think we need another right back? I would say yes. But we don't need a massive right back. We need a young perspective right back. Whether it's from youth system, whether we sign one, it's a completely different story, obviously. But I kind of believe that with how Ben White has been ruined this season by Mikel Arteta, I cannot help but wonder, will he hit the levels he hit in 22-23 season, 23-24 season, when he was the number 1 guy? Because Timber has showed that he is arguably above Ben White currently. And that for me is a big iffy situation. King Kai ain't going nowhere, unfortunately. Jesus must go. Reece Nelson, Yasu, Zini, Tierney, Jesus, Jorginho getting sold. I hope so. Although selling Jesus and Tomiyasu is very tough because they both are out pretty much till end of the year, till December more or less. Big up my boss. Big up. Hope you're doing well today, my guy. Hope you're feeling fantastically well. Do they choose to play through it or do they have no choice? That is the biggest question, let's be real. I kind of believe that the right back situation is a forceful situation because Ben White had just come back from not playing 3 months. And basically throwing him straight into the deep end arguably was a suicide mission for Mikel Arteta. But ultimately, no matter how you look at it, we have 2 very good right backs. And we shouldn't be in this situation. At the end of the day, it still falls down to Mikel Arteta overplaying him. Because he got an ACL last year. He didn't play last year at all. He comes back instantly, pretty much. He doesn't get the play. Obviously, he gets used to the team. But whilst he was being replaced by Ben White gets injured. Ben White plays 3 months with the necessity of a surgery. Right? Then he comes back, Jurien Timber, and instantly, after an ACL, gets thrown into the deep end, into Lions Den, and he's being made to play full 90 every game. And it was inevitable that he will start to get cramps, some strains, he will go down and he will need to get substituted off. So arguably, yes, it kinda is a forceful situation they are made. Maybe they chose themselves, I don't know. If I was medical staff, I would forbid them. So maybe it could be on Mikel Arteta and player itself. But for me personally, I think it's still on Mikel Arteta for fully mismanaging the squad. We have Benny Blanco. Our third choice right back is Calafiori. Unfortunately, it's not the youngster Josh Nichols though. Timber gets injured too easily, so we can sign a right back. He doesn't get injured too easily. That is the biggest thing. He doesn't get injured too easily. It just looks that way right now, in my opinion, because he came back from ACL and instantly he had to play full 90 throughout the whole season, pretty much. Because Ben White had surgery and there was nobody to replace him with. Game in, game out, he played full 90. There were no excuses, no nothing. So I think that is not per se he gets injured too easily. It's more than that the fact that he's being overplayed after a potential career-ending injury looking long-term if he does it again, like similarly with Jesus. I would put it that way. At least that's how I see it. Because see, he's not getting too injured. He got the ACL, and all these injuries are consequences of the ACL injury and him being overplayed. Just because he has no rotation available. He missed whole season, and then he comes back, he gets a knock because he just come back, he plays, he does it, right? Then a muscle injury because his muscles are not adjusted still to the tempo, to the everything. Plus he goes out simultaneously to international duty. He gets no breaks whatsoever. I think that contributes to it more. We might go for another right back, center back. Technically, we still got Tomiyasu. Well, Tomiyasu, it is what it is, to be honest. Tomiyasu, is he even here? But for me personally, I'm not gonna lie. It's 3 years since Saliba got injured. Remember those days? Against Sporting Lisbon, which arguably cost us the 8-point lead in the season, right? We played Rob Holding instead. It's been 3 years and we still don't have a backup. And if you want to push the narrative about Timber and White, I don't want to hear it. Because those two are better as a right back. And if we look at positions, we have about 9 left backs. We have 2 right backs. Well, Nichols is the third one, technically. We have 2-3 covers for Gabriel. Out and out center backs, pretty much. Who play left back at times. But we have no backups for right center back position. No backups for Saliba. Unless you forcefully put one of the right backs in the center back position, which means you have no rotation on the right back if something goes wrong. Unless you put Partey there, which, let's be real, no Arsenal fan wants to see. Plus we ain't got 3-4 academy right backs and left backs who can play it there. Yeah. Calafiori at center back, that is something I want to see, because at left back he is very questionable defensively. We need depth bench players as well. We need starting players and bench players. We need both, to be honest. Big up the Matchday Guru. Big up. Hope you're doing well today, my bro. I know it's V from the WhatsApp group. I know. If you haven't already, guys, go subscribe to Matchday Guru as well. Top content. You know it. You mean Mr. Injury Yasu, bro? He ain't fit for 3 years. It's nuts. It genuinely is nuts, if you ask me. In other news, Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Tomiyasu is freaking hell. Jorginho is joining Flamenco. He is going and joining Flamenco before the Club World Cup. So he will be eligible for Flamenco to play in the Club World Cup. Arsenal have given the permission. So that pretty much is done and dusted. The Jorginho career is done at Arsenal and he is not going to play. Now, there are some Premier League games going on. It's 2-1 Palace and it's 1-0 Man City. Who scored for Man City? Marmoush. Interesting. And for Palace, it would be insane to assume Eze and Mateta. Eddie Nketiah has 2 goals. Oh my days, King of Zamunda strikes again. It's the FA Cup lift. Eddie bloody Nketiah has 2 goals in Premier League. Holy moly. Jorginho will be missed. He will be, to some extent. But we have signed Zubimendi. Well, we haven't signed Zubimendi, I cannot say that. We may sign Zubimendi. So that is Jorginho 2.0 improvement, so hopefully that works out. The amount of players this manager has overworked this season is insane. This many injuries can't just be due to luck. unlucky. Yeah, there must be something going neither way, the physios or in training. Definitely. Because you can get 3-4 hamstring injuries, maybe if you're unlucky, really unlucky, right? But we have had 8 or 9 hamstring injuries this season, and 3 of them have required a surgery. That is not unluck. That is not bad luck. That is being overplayed, no rotation, ran into the ground, played on painkillers, and played through injury. And that now falls only on Mikel Arteta. Your defense is in trouble with Nketiah in the room. Bloody hell, he has scored 2 goals. What the hell is happening there? Anyway, Jorginho is gone. Peace out, sucker. Here we go. Hey! Here we go. This tweet. Arsenal strategy for the summer, allegedly. This Arsenal summer transfer strategy to address our attack has been for Andrea Berta to lay the groundwork on multiple targets and then pull the trigger on the players they unanimously agree on, unlike last summer where they had to do begrudgingly sign Sterling on loan due to limited alternatives. Big up Andrea Berta. The issue is they unanimously agree, which basically means Berta and Arteta both need to agree on the same player. And we all know, apparently, according to reports, that Arteta wants Sesko, but Berta wants Gyokeres. So how they will agree upon this? Oh, my bad. The narrative that Berta is using the media to misdirect is false. He has spoken to more than 15 attackers, to my knowledge, and leaks are inevitable. 15 bloody attackers. And we have heard about what? 6? 7 of those attackers. So there's about half of the bunch we have heard nothing about who he has spoken to. It's nice to see it, I'm not gonna lie. If this is true, it just shows that Andrea Berta has contacts, he has name in this industry, and he can do the proper business. Let's be real. No argument about that. One example of this is Rodrigo. Berta inquired weeks ago through intermediaries to understand his personal terms. The player will speak to Xabi Alonso before deciding his future. Real Madrid would demand north of 80 million pounds. So 85 to 90 million pounds. One thing is for sure, Andrea Berta has provided the club with options. The final decision will always be unanimous. That for me is the biggest thing. The decisions always have to be unanimous. I'm very interested in this, how Andrea Berta and Mikel Arteta unanimously will try to agree upon signing a player. I would like to be fly in that room. When they have 15 options, they can sign 4 of them, let's just even say, how they will unanimously agree upon this. I would want to be a fly in that room to see that happen. Simone Inzaghi, get ready if Arteta fails. Yeah. I strongly believe, just like Paul Merson said on Sky Sports, by the way, if Arteta gets his signings, and if it is Christmas and Arteta is not near top 2, Arteta is gone. I strongly agree with that. Bro scored more goals than no-show-guard in his months. Yep. Who do you want if Arteta fails? Nagelsmann, Xavi, Tuchel, Allegri, or Inzaghi? Antonio Conte is at Napoli. We are not getting him. He is about to win this Scudetto. I don't think he will want to move himself. He loves Napoli, I think. Nagelsmann, I would take Nagelsmann. Isn't Tuchel the manager of England, first of all? Nagelsmann is of Germany, Xavi is without the work, and Allegri is without the work. Inzaghi, Xavi, Ancelotti, and Simeone, take your pick. Ancelotti, by the way, is at Brazil. He's Brazil national team coach, so we kind of cannot get him, let's be real. Xavi is a free agent, technically. Inzaghi is at Inter, and Simeone is at Atletico Madrid, of course. Oh, Luis Enrique also would be fantastic. Yeah, better too much than too little. At least you have options. You can always trim a big selection to smaller one. You can never make small selection bigger. Let's be real. Ancelotti coach, exactly. Marlon, Simeone, and Zaghi for me, 100%. Edin Nketiah scores twice for Palace. I know, the hell freeze is over. Monkey times a Hamlet. Pigs are flying across Emirates and all this stuff. Big up, Pepper. Big up. Hope you're doing well today. Now, Kappa Watts has spoken. Kappa Watts has spoken. On Thomas Partey, sorry. Arsenal have intensified contract talks with Thomas Partey, with both sides pushing for a swift resolution one way or another to have clarity ahead of the summer transfer window. And I kind of believe this because it was reported, I think, a week ago that Thomas Partey himself, he would like to stay. If he cannot, he would like to be the situation resolved before the transfer window opens in summer, before the season ends, basically. So I kind of believe this. How it's gonna go, obviously, time only will tell. It is Arsenal's preference and the player's preference that he stays at that club, which is actually really nice news for Arsenal, because if Partey can stay injury-free, he definitely will be a massive asset for the team even next season. For example, imagine having a number 6 selection between Partey and Zubimendi. I think that is fantastic. If Zubimendi plays 8, Partey plays 6, phenomenal. Like, I think that will work very, very well, that dynamic in general, that rotation. I still believe we need one more midfielder, however, but that is a completely different story. The big question is, for me, how much Partey does want for the money, for the wages, because he at the moment is on 200 grand or something like that. If he wants more than that, I wouldn't give him that. That is the biggest thing. For me, it screams too much money if he wants the same amount or more. That's the biggest issue for me. And if he wants like a 3-year deal as well. For me, if Partey would agree upon this, I would sign Partey to a 1-year deal plus 1-year option if push comes to shove. That would be my ideal scenario. 1 year plus 1-year option. That's the deal I would sign Thomas Partey on. Because I think we have seen that Partey, one season he's fully fit, the other season he's injured a lot. And obviously we know how this has gone this season, so it's very, very, let's just say it, iffy in that regard. Inzaghi is my number 1 choice if Arteta fails. Kwame, I fully agree, Inzaghi should be the next manager. 100%. 100%. Now, we all know that Arsenal are interested in a Chelsea midfielder by name André Santos. We all know that, right? Allegedly, obviously, according to rumors. I kinda can see why. Now I see why. Because remember why we signed Merino? Because he was best in the tackles in Europe. Look what this is doing. Only 2 players made 100 plus tackles in league in this season. André Santos by a mile, by 7 tackles, was on top of the list. Kinda makes you wonder, doesn't it? Kinda genuinely makes you wonder why we have been linked with him, doesn't it? Personally, I don't even know what to make of this. Because I don't want to sign Chelsea rejects, first of all. However, and I don't want to fund Chelsea in general, let's be real, because over the years it's been quite shambolic what we have done with deals with Chelsea. More specifically, who we have signed from Chelsea. Because let's be real, signing players like Gallas, signing Havertz, Czech, Havertz, hasn't gone too well, has it? Jorginho. However, we always give Chelsea our best players. That again, it's like the same thing with United, let's just put it that way. So, André Santos is a very talented player. I wouldn't mind having him, but if it's like 50 million, it's to fund Chelsea, no thank you. There is lots of potential in André Santos by the looks of things as well. Haven't seen him much play, but based on his stats alone, which obviously that's the only thing I can look at when I haven't seen the guy play, it looks solid, it looks decent, especially for a team like Strasbourg. Anyhow, some copium news. Copium, and if this is true, I will be super gassed. To some extent. To some extent, let's just put it that way. Liverpool have a firm interest in signing Benjamin Šeško this summer, and the player would be keen on the move. Any potential deal would be linked to Darwin Núñez's departure. Obviously, there are some rumors about Darwin Núñez leaving to Saudi for about, 65, 70 million or something like that, right? There is something like that in that regard, rumors, right? However, if we can take Šeško off the table and Mikel Arteta can shove it because he wants Sesko, I wouldn't be against that. Let's be real. And then it kind of would open the doors for us to sign Gyokeres. Because I kind of don't believe we're going to sign both. Because even if Gyokeres is 70 million, Šeško is 75. And paying 75 million for Šeško seems way too much in my opinion. Let's just put it that way. I'm not the biggest fan of Šeško as well. At the same time, it is what it is. If we sign Šeško in this transfer window as the main striker, I'm not gonna lie, I will be super annoyed, super pissed off. And the stream, what I'm gonna do, could be cancelable. Let's just put it that way. Liverpool back. Yeah, Marlon is a big fan of Benjamin Šeško. A guy who cannot score even 20 goals in Bundesliga. It's a bit worrying, I'm not gonna lie. At the same time, if you look what Isak did at Real Sociedad and what he's doing in Premier League, of course, it goes both ways. Let's just put it that way. He could also actually bang. But from what I have seen, watching Bundesliga and watching Sesko specifically for about 15-20 odd games, you can see that he's very raw. Pause. He's very raw talent. He has some issues with ball distribution as a hold-up player. He has tunnel vision many times. If he decides to shoot, he just shoots and everything. So it's not it. For me at least. Gyokeres would be a better option. Plus Gyokeres is cheaper, by the way. Simone Inzaghi next week, Saturday, is leading his Inter to the Champions League final against PSG, and Inter will win it. Potentially, right? I hope Inter wins. Not because I'll have a agenda against PSG or something like that. I like Inzaghi and I like Inter in general. They are not my favorite Serie A team, right? But I will be supporting Inter. I hope for very good football, but I will be supporting Inter, right? And also this weekend as well, Napoli versus, it's not Napoli versus obviously Inter, but one of those two teams is gonna win Scudetto. That is also will be interesting to see, because Napoli, if they win, they guarantee it. If they draw, they must hope that Inter doesn't win. So it will be very, very, very interesting. Gyokeres is the answer in my opinion, it is. Big up Terence, hope you're doing well. No Top Gunner stuff, please. Moving on. Okay. Arsenal have not submitted any bid for Victor Gyokeres, apparently. This is according to some rumors. If they do it in the future, it remains to be seen. Arsenal fans have had the most exhausting season in recent memory. The last thing we need is lies and misinformation. When there is news, it will be communicated. Well, hopefully. Yeah. This is what someone mentioned in the stream before. Where is it? I think it was, I would say YouTube censors. It was who mentioned this. Or was it my boss? It was one of the two. One of the two. Is it my boss or was it YouTube? Yeah, it was YouTube censors. He mentioned this in the beginning of the stream. Apparently, United have submitted actually a bid for Gyokeres. And here it is. It comes from Eduardo Pagan, so don't trust this because he is very unreliable in my opinion. Man United apparently are first club to make concrete move for Victor Gyokeres and now are accelerating, which is a big worry. I said this on my YouTube short I uploaded a few days ago, and I'm gonna say this right now. The longer he stays on market, the less of a chance we have to be the only ones in for him. Now, obviously, there were some rumors about United wanting him, but he wants Champions League football. That is the first thing first, right? The issue with this is, tomorrow, in the evening, United play Spurs in the Europa League final. If United win that game, and they get automatic, basically, jump into Champions League, I have big worry. I'm gonna be very worried that we gonna miss out on Victor Gyokeres. Because currently, I can see Arsenal basically outweighing United, right? But if United get Champions League, it becomes squeaky bum time. And of course, the longer Gyokeres stays on market, the bigger is a chance that another team is gonna swoop in. And that for me is a big worry. If you believe that, go watch different sport. I'm not gonna lie. Show the abs, dude. Don't even. No zesty stuff, please. On top of that, 100% there's an Arsenal fan on Twitter or whatever who has this guy with this picture as his profile picture. 100%. Gyokeres didn't skip ab day, definitely not. We are yeah, exactly. That's the biggest thing. Currently, we are the favorites because we have Champions League, we have better project, let's just put it that way. We are in desperate need for a striker, and we can pay the money. So we are in a better place than United. However, this whole narrative switches tomorrow if United win Champions League. Because for me, that is the biggest issue. Because United get Champions League and Gyokeres won Champions League. United can afford to pay him. Let's be real. Plus, United want to sell Højlund, and they're trying to potentially also sell, what's its face? Zerkamp, all this stuff, right? And there is obviously Amorim. That is the familiarity factor. And let's be real. Amorim would bite your arm off to have Gyokeres at Manchester United. That for me is the biggest worry. That is the biggest worry for me. What annoys me, we keep changing our kits. Yeah, the home kit doesn't change too much, but it changes in certain aspects, which basically means you cannot have the same kit every season. I get it. I totally get it. You need to make money, you need to change stuff around and all this stuff, but I kind of get the feeling sometimes that your home kit should be the kit that always stays the same. Then your second kit, away kit, third kit, and fourth kit can change however you want it. I still feel he won't go to United. Amorim is very unstable in his job right now. Yeah, that is true. That is 100% true. The biggest thing for me for this is, if United sack Amorim right now, right? United are the biggest morons in the world. Because they haven't given Amorim one window, proper window. They haven't given him proper season, his proper signings. They haven't given him a proper chance. Yes, United are a mess right now. They are like 16th, 15th in the table and everything. At the same time, if they win Europa League, lots of things will change. And it's a worry, obviously. But if they sack him, it's the dumbest thing what they could do in the recent times. Let's be real. Especially that he just signed a contract. They will have to pay him off. And paying that price off, it will be genuinely insane for them. That poor kid Mura is him shows right in front. I'm not gonna get into that. I agree with you, Pepper. Manchester United. Yeah, they are falling apart. 100% they're falling apart. The question is how they will recover. How they will recover. That for me is the biggest question. Big up, Luca. Hope you're doing well today. See, Gyokeres going Man United. See, we have this split part in this fan base. We have a part that wants Sesko, first of all. Then we have a part that thinks Gyokeres is gonna join us. And then we have a part who thinks Gyokeres is going to United. It's so split, it has more split sides than hair, basically. That is the biggest thing for me personally, because at the moment I could actually sit here and say that Arsenal are the favorites to sign him, right? And as I said before, if United get Champions League and win tomorrow, I think the narrative will change. So frustrating, I ain't looking forward to Arsenal. It depends who we sign. For me, the biggest issue still is going to be the manager. Because the way I see it, it doesn't matter who we sign, what players Arteta gets, and everything. Unless Arteta changes his mindset, his system, his tactics, we're never going to succeed. On top of that, unless we change the manager, it could get even worse. Victor Gyokeres is joining Arsenal next season. I need your source. If you are this confident, I need your source. For me, it's still up in the air. Until he's holding Arsenal shirt, not trusting this. Man, screw this, you're telling me we aren't going for... Yeah, that is a weird thing. Cherky is available. Cherky has confirmed himself he's leaving Lyon at the end of the season. How comes we are not in for Cherky? How? That for me, this what Luke is saying, that for me is the biggest argument. I'm not playing devil's advocate here or anything. Because for me personally, Arsenal are favorites currently like 90% against 10%, right? 10% being other teams. If United win this Europa League, they get Champions League. Gyokeres was Champions League. So that already doesn't matter in terms of Arsenal or United. Arsenal can pay the money, United can pay the money. So that is off the table as well. United need a striker, Arsenal need a striker, right? That instantly comes off the table as well. Only difference is United is a mess, Arsenal are a better team, better project and all this stuff, right? Better suited, technically. At the same time, at United, they have Ruben Amorim, a guy who has coached this guy for years. He knows what he's capable of and how to get the best out of him. That for me is the biggest thing. That is for me the biggest thing. Why is no one talking about Mateta? I have no idea, to be honest. Mateta is 27 years old as well only. I think he hasn't gone under the radar if you watch Premier League, but since he plays for Crystal Palace, there's not that much exposure for him, right? At the same time, apparently Crystal Palace want about 60-70 million for him, so... Look, Manchester United isn't as stable in the first place. Well... means nothing. We've been saying this for years and all this stuff. Barcelona are in debt and they still sign all the players. At the end of the day, it means nothing. Let's be real. Big up G-Star. Big up. Hope you're doing well today. Hope you're doing fantastically. Fantastically well today. But yeah, Gyokeres is the iffy one. I'm not gonna lie. Now, let's look at some other news, if there are any news regarding Arsenal. Let's quickly scroll through these things and see. Thomas Partey. Kappa Watts. Thomas Partey and Arsenal started contract talks quite far apart in terms of finances involved, which means Arsenal want to lower his salary pretty heavily and Partey doesn't want the drop, obviously. Because for me personally, if Partey wants to stay, he needs to lower his salary. He cannot be on 200,000+ a week. And he must sign a 1-year deal plus 1 year as extra option. That's how I would do this business. But it appears a decision will be, in terms of finances involved, but it appears a decision will be reached soon. Arsenal are keen to agree a new deal, potentially a 2-year deal, see? Who it signs that something will get agreed. That is coming from Kappa Watts. He might be capping, but might not. Who knows? Oh. Ian Wright, are we expecting big summer, boss? Well, if big summer means recruitment and bringing players in, it's going to be a big summer for everybody. Again, as a politician, speaks something but says nothing. What a guy. What a bloody guy. I'm not gonna lie. Arteta doesn't want Gyokeres. He can't handle big characters. He getting Sesko. Watch. Oh, bloody hell. Okay, G-Star. If we get Sesko, will you be excited? Because Mikel Arteta said, Kroenke said, get excited and everything. You're gonna be super excited. We're gonna do this and everything. We're gonna have massive summer and all this stuff. So, would you be excited if we get Sesko? Let's just put it that way. Would you be excited if we got Sesko? Question to you. Would you be... No, I don't want Sesko. See? Get me Toma, Mateta and Eze. I would take Eze. I assume you mean Mitoma for left wing, Eze for number 10 and Mateta for striker. It's very interesting that Mateta hasn't been linked with anyone. Oh no, it has. Mateta has been linked with Atletico Madrid. He has. Mateta has been linked with Atletico Madrid. Never mind. But overall, but also vague links, very vague links. He hasn't been linked with anyone. It's like he's going quite heavily under the radar, which is kind of nuts. Is this link StreamYard? No, it's not. Whatever link you mean. Kappa Watts. Ian Wright calling Arteta boss. Yeah. Oh, big up, why not? Big up. Hope you're doing well today. Big up. Hope you're doing well. Big up. Hope you're doing well. Big up, big up, big up. Yep, that's what I thought. But we are not getting rid of what's its face, mosquito guard. Big up, big up, big up, Evie. I'm gonna call you Evie. I can't ever pronounce your name. Big up, Evie. Long time, yeah. All is good. I good. Hope you're doing well as well. Partey is not going to drop his wages when that bum Kai Havertz, aka 29, aka Donkey, is the highest paid player in the club. That is, well, when Saka signs, Saka is gonna be the highest paid player without shadow of a doubt. Saliba, if he agrees a new contract, he will be close. If Saliba doesn't get close, if not the same at least as Kai Havertz, it will be a disgrace. If Gabriel doesn't get the same amount, it also will be a disgrace, because Gabriel, and I kid you not, Gabriel Magalhaes at Arsenal at this current situation is earning £100,000 a week. He's earning same amount as Tomiyasu, 10 grand more than what's its face, Trossard, 50 grand less than Zinchenko, 30 grand less than Merino, and 50 grand less than Calafiori at this current moment at Arsenal. Seriously. I would keep Partey at 200. He's our best midfielder. Even with Zubimendi, he still will be. Yeah, I agree. I think definitely, like, this is the weird thing. For me, when I look at the midfield, Zubimendi and Thomas Partey in 4-2-3-1 in double pivot makes a lot of sense. And it makes so much sense that the fact that I cannot put Rice in the midfield, it's actually so insane if you ask me. For me, Gyokeres. See, many people want Gyokeres. Big up Midas Touch. Big up, hope you're doing well. If I were Partey, I will not lower my salary, because the question is he not worth his salary at the moment? He is. That's the biggest issue. He is. But the injury history is the biggest worry. We have seen this at Arsenal with Thomas Partey. He is out for almost like 70% of the season. Next season he plays full season almost. Then he's again out for about 50% of the season. Next season he almost plays full season. And that inconsistency, it's very rough. Plus he takes about 3-4 games to get into gear, which also is not ideal, but it is what it is, let's be real. At the same time, you cannot deny what Thomas Partey brings to the team, how good he is, and you could justify as well the 200 grand a week price tag on his wages 100%. By the way, big up everyone. If you haven't already, smash the like button, would help a lot, and subscribe if you are new around here. Aiming for 1k before the next season begins. All good, brother. A little flu? Yes, I have a bit of a flu still. I hate it. It's been 2 weeks and I still have this goddamn cough. I'm ready to genuinely... I don't know what even. I'm not gonna lie. Genuinely. Because I cannot go to sleep. Whenever I try to fall asleep, I start to cough. So basically, instead of about 7, 8 hours, 6 hours, 4 hours even asleep, I get about 2. And it's killing me at my work. Daily. Sesko will go to Liverpool. Well, maybe. Who knows? Would you prefer Eze or Cherki? Both. Eze 70 million. Cherki is what? 30 million? Something like that. 25 million. Cherki is very cheap. For some weird reason, Cherki is very, very, very cheap. I don't know why. That is the biggest question for me. Why? But yeah, I would say both. 100 million for Eze and Cherki makes a lot of sense. 100 million for Eze and Cherki. Add 70 for Gyokeres, for example. That's 170. 50 for Zubimendi, because it looks like we could get him as well, just like Gyokeres. So that's 220. It's not a lot if you think about it. Let's be real. It's not that much. What phase is... I have no idea what phase am I in. I'm in phase. I'm about to genuinely cut my nose off so I can breathe. Everyone on you... Yeah, everyone seems like... Yeah, Shane is under the weather. Views is as well. I have watched a few streams. Some other streamers are as well. It's kind of insane, to be honest. Yeah, Odegaard and Rice high wages have screwed up the wage negotiations. Not per se Rice, I think Havertz and Jesus are bigger issue. Because Jesus is on 265, Havertz is on 285. Between them two, we pay them more than 500,000 a week. That is a big issue. Odegaard is on 240, which also doesn't help. Rice is in like 210, something like that. So that I can accept. Saka is gonna be on nearly 300. I can accept that to some extent. Let's be real. At the same time, I guess it is what it is. Let's be real. So I don't know. It's weird. It genuinely is very weird in that regard. But yeah, anything else in the footballing world regarding Arsenal happening? Vasquez will leave Real Madrid, so Arsenal don't sign him, please. City expect Florian Wirtz to join Bayern Munich, according to David Ornstein. That's going well, isn't it? That is going very well. No show got 100k, nothing more. He should. Odegaard should be on Gabriel's wages, and Gabriel should be on Odegaard's wages. Since Gabriel gets 100 grand a week, and Odegaard gets 240, swap the wages around. It's a weird one. Gordon links are very, I would say decent, but also very vague. 80 million for Gordon. Chelsea also want him. It's very weird. It's very weird, and it's kind of hard to realize and get at it. You need more. We need more on that. Would I say Gordon? Depends on the price. We will end up signing. Why are you putting this shit into universe? Why would you even mention that in the first place? What is wrong with you? Seriously, stop it. Get some help. Gittens left wing, right wing. Maybe. There are so few wingers in this market. It's actually pissing me off that we didn't get Kvaratskhelia for the 65 million. Genuinely. Oh, proper tifo from Man City. One final game at the Etihad from for Kevin De Bruyne. Boshagli as a free agent. Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe believe a full preseason and squad overhaul will allow Ruben Amorim to bring success back to Manchester United. If they are serious, it could be a problem regarding Gyokeres, by the way. Real Madrid want Enzo Fernandez. Liverpool, Florian Wirtz is Liverpool's dream for the number 10 spot, paying 150 requested by Leverkusen would not be a problem. Oh, bloody hell. If Liverpool sign Florian Wirtz, it's gonna be out of this world. Just put out there. Exactly. I still don't think signing players will fix the team, the backward side. Yeah, at the end of the day, I still believe that as well. Unless Mikel Arteta changes the system and his philosophy and style, nothing will change. He can get prime Messi, prime Ronaldo, prime Kaká, prime Gattuso, prime Bremer, prime Maldini, and he would still not win the goddamn league or anything. At the end of the day, manager is the biggest problem, no matter how you look at it. Big up Kwame. Thanks for dropping by. Have a great evening. Have a great day tomorrow. You must go for stream for chesty cough. Try sleep on your stomach. That's the biggest thing. For steam, for chesty cough. Yeah. Like, I hate sleeping on my stomach. I absolutely hate it. I don't know, it's weird. I can sleep on my side, left or right, don't care. Sleeping on my back, I don't mind. On my stomach, I kinda am not the biggest fan. I don't know why. It's weird. It's like weird thing for me. Not per se sleeping on stomach is weird, but I just don't feel comfortable. Unless I'm hella tired, then I sleep however I want. Fuck no, exactly. Absolute garbage. So, yeah, it is what it is in that regard, I'm not gonna lie. So, anything regarding Arsenal, Akliuche, Liverpool want Akliuche as well. Fucking hell, they're getting all the good players. What the hell is wrong with this? Genuinely, Liverpool are in for all the good players. A lack of rotation from the manager, then there's poor management, then there's not learning from mistakes, not taking cup serious. Is depressing thinking about next season with Arteta. Exactly. For me personally, it has come to a point where I support the team, I support the club and everything. At the same time, I cannot stop this goddamn voice in the back of my head. We are not winning anything with this manager. No matter how much you support, how much you want it, with this manager, not happening. Edwards and Slot. Exactly. Liverpool are signing players as if they just finished second in the league. 2 points behind Man City in their prime. That's what it feels like. This type of signings like Akliuche, like Florian Wirtz, Frimpong, Gyokeres, that's what Arsenal should have done last summer. But we'd signed some cauliflower zucchini from Italy and some Spanish wannabe Cesc Fabregas or whatever he thinks he is, who plays as a striker for us. I sense a touch of bitterness in Arteta when he said the people upstairs should do their jobs. I sense a power shift, and if so, I hope... Yeah, I think so too. Big up G Wills, by the way. I think so too, because he never regarded to people upstairs or someone like that. He always said the team, Josh, he always called them by names. They were really buddies. But with Andrea Berta coming in, everything has changed. He basically speaks about everyone else in the third person. He doesn't... He doesn't mention Andrea Berta unless he is provoked by a question or anything. Josh Kroenke mentioned him only once and very vaguely in the interview he made before the Newcastle game and everything. When Andrea Berta signed, there were no pictures with him together with Mikel Arteta. Josh Kroenke in that interview when Berta signed didn't mention Arteta at all and everything. It feels like the dynamic is shifting and Berta has more power than Edu has ever had. And some of that power that Mikel Arteta got with his 15 million a year contract has been massively taken away from him and given to Andrea Berta. That's what it feels like currently, I'm not gonna lie. But hey, it's just a speculation, it's just a random rumor, it's just a conspiracy from my end, I guess, but it is what it is. I think signing Rodrigo will be better than Gordon because the price will be similar, 100%. I think Arsenal, in certain aspect, need insane player that makes you jump out of your seat. Signing Declan Rice was big, but it didn't give me the excitement signing Ozil did. Signing Alexis Sanchez did. I felt more excited when we signed Aubameyang than when we signed Declan Rice. We need that player that basically makes you go, holy effing shit, this is gonna be nuts. We need someone like that. No squad depth, no nothing. Winning the league and the transfer window. Yeah, that could be the case. I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool next year would win the league again if they keep going like this and they actually sign these players, right? City are gonna spend about 200-300 million again. Let's see what they do. Newcastle is gonna be up there 100%, especially with the money they can spend. What Villa is gonna do and other teams. It could be even worse for Arsenal. This season we were in a top 4 race at the end of the day. Well, race for the second if you wanted to be, right? Next season, it could be genuine top 4 race at the end of the day. Need depth. Do you think Arteta is scared to sign top players because they want respective 100%? The thing is, with big players, massive names, come big egos. And we have seen that Arteta cannot do that. He cannot handle them. What he did instantly when he got the team that won him the FA Cup, he got rid of all the egos. Guendouzi, Pepe, Aubameyang, Lacazette. He instantly binned them all. Ozil as well. Instantly, all of them gone. Within a flash, within 2 years, they all have gone. Without questions asked. So I think Arteta only wants yes men that only agree with him. Hence why signing Berta is so fantastic. Because Berta is not going to take any crap for Mikel Arteta. He has actually an ego. And this is a good type of ego. Because he knows his value, his abilities, what he can do. And where his powers lie. And he's not gonna take any crap from Arteta. Andrea Berta eats people like Mikel Arteta for breakfast. No seasoning, no heating, he eats them plain cold without nothing. Let's sack, let's go. Well, one day it will happen. How are we gonna replace him though? That is the other question. That is then up to Andrea Berta hopefully. Because if Berta gets the say who we sign, oh my hell, this could be kinda insane. Mikel Arteta, winning trophies is about being in the right moment, in the right place. Well, sucks to be him, doesn't it? Sucks to be him, doesn't it? Anyways. Oh, I wanted to show you this. Wait. Wait. Where is it? Where is it? This one. AFTV, right? This is this one? No, this is not. Where is it? Where is it? Where is this tweet? Where is it? I 100% saw it. Where is it? They deleted the tweet. Oh my goodness. They actually deleted the tweet. Holy crap. Holy crap. There was a tweet about the points, right? About the points we just saw, right? And it, you know what caption it had? It had a caption. How was it? Our floor is their ceiling. I cannot find it, Pepper. Yeah. It's that the one that says 86, 89. It basically said that Liverpool's ceiling, 86 point, is our floor to compare to when we got 89 points. How pathetic is that? Find some shame. Get some help. Go on a hike. Realistically, what will be your dreams? Realistically dream. That doesn't work together, does it, Midas Touch? Realistically and dream summer, it's two different things. But for me personally, it is Gyokeres, Rodrigo, Hato, Eze, Ederson from Atalanta, and someone else. 3-1 Palace, Ben Chilwell. He plays for Palace? What the... Since when Ben Chilwell plays for Palace? He's on loan, right? Edin Nketiah with 2 goals, by the way. Never seen that before. Besides the hat-trick against Wimbledon. Marmoush and Bernardo Silva scored there. It was that tweet. Yeah, Pepper. Berta get Arteta out, exactly. The people upstairs, in my opinion, that power has gone to Garlic, who hired Berta and left Arteta out of the loop. 100%. Because, I don't remember, it was Tim Lewis and Richard Garlic. One of them too has been working for KSC since 2009. So it's not a coincidence that all of a sudden he shows up when money gets mismanaged. You have to... they deleted it, exactly. Said Arteta to be included with decision making or new director. They will. We talked about today on stream. They need unanimous decisions, by the way. They need unanimous decisions, by the way. Espirito is gonna get sacked. They need unanimous decisions to decide on transfers. It's never gonna happen. Yeah, I saw that. Did you see the coordinate tweets from Igal, Connor? Yeah. I saw all of them. You must bookmark and screen grab your evidence. I need to start doing that. Genuinely need to start doing that 100%. 100%. But yeah, I think we've been live for long enough. It's been 1 hour and 9 minutes. It's almost 11:30. I need to go relax, chill, and all this stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I need to ease my voice, let's just put it that way, and relax. So I'm gonna head off for today. Tomorrow's Europa League final. We're gonna be streaming during Europa League final, talking about the Arsenal, and obviously with one eye keeping on the Europa League game. But yeah, for today, I am signing out. So if you haven't already, smash the like button, subscribe. Road to 1K is going strong. Big up everyone. Big up Natalie, Why Not, Pepper, G Wills, Marlon, Kwame, who was here, Midas Touch, Evie. Who else was there? Luca. There were lots of people. Oh my god. G-Star, of course, Mabas, Terrence, everyone. Big up everyone. Hope you had a good evening. Have a great evening. Have a great day tomorrow. And see you also tomorrow as well. By the way, before we go, don't forget to check my YouTube short about Ethan Manieri, Max Dauman, and Mikel Arteta. Go check it out. Leave a like, comment it, and have a nice evening.